Wagwan, everyone. This is Dutch. Welcome to my channel, Artwork by Dutch. I am the ADHD artist. And today is Saturday, December. I was going to say for some reason. It's October 28th. It is Dutchtober, inking Green Gray the Phoenix. I'm a little out of it. I got a little sinus headache right now. Just chilling downstairs watching Netflix's Pluto, confused about the show, waiting for it to pick up. It's one of those, it's a slow intro, production sleeper type of thing. Probably gets better by the second issue. So I was having a discussion with one of my aunts last night about my ED, the emotional dysregulation. Come on, get out of your head, guys. And she brought up maybe looking at cognitive behavioral therapy, which is, I guess, similar to NLP. The NLP person I had basically is the devil, in my opinion, because he knew more about me than I think anybody in this world next to God knows about me. Even I didn't even know these things about me. So I'm not certain if I want to do CBT because I'll explain to her, we use the term short fuse, and gotta do a sound check real quick. So a short fuse to me, I've had short fuses. It's the point, like with the kid, your kid gets testy and they just keep pushing your button, and you've had enough. You've maybe gone out to a bar and somebody picked a fight on you, or maybe not even that. They start calling you names. It's something I'm used to. Especially here, and I don't like it, so it gets on my nerves, rubs it the wrong way, and then a person just keeps pushing and rubbing that nerve like it's raw, and then then it just explodes. And having explained that, no, that's not what ED, emotional dysregulation, is. It's basically you don't know what sets it off. Being mindful and thoughtful and everything else. Accepting, it's hard to explain. Again, it's kind of like being mansplained, I guess. Being a man, being mansplained, as many women don't like. Being explained to by a neurotypical person what it is kind of tough, because again, it's nothing. This thing can set off easily. For example, yesterday the stream stopped because StreamYard wasn't working. I, instead of usually going off and getting that spark, I just decided to calm down, figure out what's going on, and work through it. It wasn't anything too big. I could always restart the stream, restart the browser, go again. It wasn't difficult. It didn't keep happening over and over again, where then that emotional dysregulation probably would kick in. So I, again, I just don't know. But and when I do recognize that it's happening, I do turn lasso again, count to 10, keep counting to 10 until it starts to go down, and I can get some semblance, some mental or emotional control over it, and then notice that my audience, who I'm talking to, that's sometimes my own kid. I can see in their face, and I don't want to make them afraid, and I don't want to do anything else. So I explain, this is not them, it's not me, it's this condition in me which I'm trying to control. Give me a moment, me rationally try to think this out, and then I bring myself down that way. And it does happen. It's kind of, if you see, like when the Hulk does it on the thing, Bruce Banner's kind of calming himself down, even though he's turned green, and eventually able to calm himself. Of course, the plot, he's turned into the Hulk, so something else happens and gets shocked into it, and yada yada. So, to my neurotypical family and friends and your people out there, it's kind of tough listening to it, because you're trying to come. I appreciate it, one, but two, I did feel ashamed. And I did tell you that yesterday, that, don't shame us. It's you're trying to apply something that works for you, for a neurotypical person, with blinders on, just to go in one direction, and you can't understand why somebody's bouncing off the walls instead of going straight in a straight line. And applying that logic to somebody else whose mind is just a zigzag of corridors and or an MC Escher sketch. So just be mindful. Just give us a moment. Understand that, hey, this person's got neurodivergent, ADHD, autistic, whatever. Let them figure out how to soothe themselves. It may make me feel uncomfortable, but how does it feel for them? Because I'll tell you this, after I've come down from that emotional regulation railroad, I feel like I just, woke up, and like you've seen those movies where the guy wakes up and he's got blood in his hands, like, okay, how'd this happen? Because he blacked out, and that's kind of what it's like. So give us some space, let us relax and calm down, and we'll come to the realization of what's happening, and apologize, or thank you for, as I've learned, thank you for putting up with me. Where were we at? We can move on. So, and that also goes with this next character, the Jean Grey, the Phoenix. So as you know, in the comic book, Marvel, Jean Grey saves the X-Men, Phoenix Force saves her, and for the longest time we assumed that until she killed herself after she turned the Dark Phoenix, that was Jean Grey. But X Factor revived her, showed that she's actually a cocoon, the actual Jean Grey, while her radiation burns healed, and it was actually the Phoenix who assumed her form, her human form, and emotions, created her down to cellular level, etc. And a woman who went mentally mad because of the manipulations of Mastermind, Jason Wingard. So that's a good segue, I guess. So again, sorry for the long tirade. It's just something that was off my mind. Just had to get off my chest. So please like, subscribe.
Do it! Just do it!
And let's drive over to my desk and let's take a look at her. All right. So StreamYard, after bring it up to your attention, the mirror, or the fix the appearance. So this is going to keep going in and out. I apologize, but here she is. A little larger sheet of paper. Sliding around my nice 7x10. And I have the mumra. I was sketching it out digitally. I'm using the brush side because I thought this would be cool, but I'm making edges a little too thick when I don't want it to be. I want them thin. This is such a big piece. I'm trying some new technique, the brush part of this. I think the reason why is that I was looking at a lot of the ones I have drawn and inked this past month, and then start doing some watercolor, the background. I don't like having a plain white background. I don't want to really use all the Ohuhu markers or maybe my Copics on it. So I want to start mixing the two together. So I'm not certain this crystal board is smooth. I'm not certain how this is going to work with watercolor, if it all it will. I'm trying different things. I found that was easier for me to go up than to go down with the brush. So I'm thinking I might actually switch to the other side, the Kuretake marker, or brush pen. Maybe I'll load up the Mumra that I started sketching out. Might actually also end up just rewatching some of the old Thundercats or the new one. The one I did, it kind of made more of a human-looking face, and it kind of looked Mumra-ish. So So here in Phoenix, it's getting a little darker earlier, or because of the rotation of the Earth, the angle has changed. So now the smaller tree in the back, which had never been affected in the summer, is now shading the house. Yeah, so this paper is really smooth. I don't think I've really used a smooth Stratford like this crystal board. It's definitely nice. So as I've mentioned, I've been using the Ohuhu markers to color everything along with my Copics. I started to main colors, of course, being the red, yellow, and blues. They're starting to run out or dry out, so I thought I'd buy some refills because these are also refillable markers. And unfortunately, they are currently out of stock. You know, something new I think they just introduced not too long ago, so I'm hoping they ramp up production because, and they're also very limited in their color. So they have over, like Copics, 300 or so markers, I think, 250 at least, that I know of. So they've got to start getting those colors going. But I did buy the replacement ones. They're $2 a piece, so it wasn't a total hit. But I'd rather have spent the $5 for a refill that would have lasted me, you know, at least a good year. So even though they're inexpensive, you may want to take that factor into account if you purchase them. At the moment, the refills are not widely available. And this one's a lot bigger than the other ones. So remember they're 7x10, so it's been basically this length, finger length. So the Mumra is going to be just as huge. And I think the next one I might ink. So might do one for tomorrow. I'll have to draw something real quick while I do the Mumra. But is the Lady Death. Maybe I might do that Monday. So I was originally starting to draw this hair and wanted fiery, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll make this part look like the phoenix beak, and then this would be like the phoenix wings. right now, as I started inking coloring them all in, I'm doing the poison ivy one I did earlier, and she turned out real pretty. I'm actually kind of happy how that one came out and it's looking. All right, that's now the moment of truth. I'm not sure how this is going to look when I start to take the knead eraser, do it in areas I don't really care about. All right, face is good. So as you may know, with everything else I'm doing, I will go back in later and start to hatch out things after I've filled in with color and add more line work. And again, sorry for the earthquake. There we go. We've got the Phoenix, Jean Grey, my favorite redhead. Go ahead and sign. So still shaky with using the brush portion of the pen, as you can see with the different line thickness. So I need to learn how to hold the pen and probably use my whole arm. I had it planted, even just had my hand just lifted up, but I still need to figure out how to do that in order to use the pen, the brush portion of it. Using the pen portion, not an issue. So I'm definitely seeing improvement and confidence again in my line work, so I'm happy with that. So thank you, everybody. This one was about 23 minutes, which is good. I appreciate you guys all coming on and hanging out with me here. Catch me tomorrow again, 4 o'clock-ish. We'll see what we draw. Definitely Monday, I'm thinking I'm gonna do that Lady Death, and then by Tuesday for Halloween, I'll hopefully have that Mumra ready, and we'll ink that then. And then all these, of course, will be going up for auction when I determine, once they're all done and colored, then I'll put them up for auction by my whatnot. Information, though, on everything can be found. My banner did not go through for some reason. There you go. There's my store and social media, my beacons there, so you can definitely find everything on my beacons, on my social media sites, what I recommend, type of pens I'm using, type of equipment I'm using for streaming and for drawing. So I appreciate everybody for joining me. Take care of each other. I'll see you guys later. Let's drive on out of here. Have a good night.